And the bottom right here in the blue.
GSL Green Wings Terminator.
I cannot self-terminate. In the upper left in the red.
StarCraft Curious.
I want to say something.
It's like I'm like, curiosity killed the cat, and there's like a dead cat in his lap. We're like, ah!
About Terminator, because Terminator, like, the foreign scene doesn't see him much, but you know, if he just worked on his Arnold impression for like a week and then just said like 1 or 2 quotes from the movie, he would basically have the biggest fan club. Like, everyone would love him. It's kind of funny.
We should be going into PR, man.
Yeah. If I could manage Terminator, man, oh my
God. Like, listen, you know, if you lose in the finals of the tournament, what are you going to say? Say, I'll be back.
Yeah. Well, wow, I really enjoyed that game. That was like,
it was a treat. It was really close, and the situation was really interesting.
Yeah, it was very situational. The cannon rush, utilizing that second cannon in the Oracle. Because I thought the Oracle was, I was like, God, there's an Overlord there. He sees it. You're still going to do this. You're not going to get any drones. But keeping that alive, eventually it did end up helping out. And then just utilizing the Stalkers while units were out of position, because they almost, like, you either see Ling Roach or Ling Hydra normally from gold base users. And
here we go.
It just, I don't know, it worked out so well.
Oh, wait a minute. He doesn't even have a forge, does he?
No,
he's doing some trickery, Tosis.
It's shenanigans, not cananigans. But yeah, I mean, that was, wow. Terminator.
So he's pulling the drones back. He's detected this is a fake out. He's going to send the probe back down here, but he'll see, based on the timing of all these structures, that he'll be fine. The forge is not even close to being finished here.
Yep. Just getting it because of where he set up his pylon. Don't really want to make a gate there. But, I mean, it'll take a little bit for us to figure out exactly what's going on with these two here. Wow. I'm really liking this group so far, because, like, the group we did Wednesday, those games were crap.
I mean, if
you haven't watched
the
yet, guys,
players were good. The players were good, but the games they produced were mostly not exciting, but especially just very straightforward.
Yeah. It was like Rain and Life being way better than everyone, and then just, like, it was like, meh.
Panic.
Yeah, and I was sick, too, so it was, like, basically just the worst day ever. We have to take the VHS tapes that those games are stored on and shoot them into the sun.
Panic was, he actually got tagged by the Oracle, so his opponent had vision, and then walked his Stalkers that were tagged over into the Dark Shrine that he was making.
It was pretty bad.
It was just like, wow.
The thing is, you know when it's even if you didn't see it, you know it's not a pylon. You know when it's a Dark Shrine, you know?
Yeah.
There's like something about Dark Shrines that you can tell, even though they look the same as a pylon warping, and you can tell it's a Dark Shrine every time.
We have the probe backing out now. And again, it's going to be a slower game. We're still waiting for that core to finish. And then we'll be able to tell you what the plans are here from Terminator. And it's going to be a Stargate.
All right.
Possibly
well, you can
an Oracle
see that Stargate. Yeah. Being able to see the Stargate makes me a little bit sad, but he's flanking now with Overlords even, so. Obviously he knows that this is something that's going to be spotted. Even if they know an Oracle's coming, it can still be quite useful.
Well, the Oracle is just a good tool to have. As long as you can stay active with it, it's so fast, it deals damage so quickly that any moment that the Zerg isn't completely prepared, he can be punished really hard.
Yeah. It's quite true, and this is like a pretty good map for Oracles too, I would say. It's kind of a long travel distance to that third base, so you can like kind of take it quite quickly even if you go for Oracle. I mean, it could be Phoenixes. Like, a lot of times when people get that scouted, they prefer Phoenixes, because Phoenixes, like, it doesn't matter if you see these or not, they are doing damage. And he does choose to go Phoenixes. I think that might have been what he wanted to do from the beginning anyways. I think Phoenixes are a nice opener.
Yeah, he's going to be keeping Curious pretty busy with this. Plus one attack started here. And Zerg just starting Ling speed. So this will be nice. So this will force Curious to pull all of his Overlords back into his base. And try to keep them safe there. So it's going to be up to the Zerg to have Lings and Creep pushed out to get a good idea of what's going on the map. Unlike, for instance, you know, if you have an Oracle, you're still okay to have stuff all over the map.
Absolutely. You have some spores on the way. Try to help defend. One spore, though, even with one spore, the Phoenixes can still do a lot of damage. Some players prefer to grab 2 against Phoenixes. Players like Hyun, for instance. Oh. What is this? You can tell he's on the same team as SOS.
It's so true. He is getting a second Stargate, guys.
Who did I see doing stuff like this recently? Was it Liquid Hero? I think it might have been.
Well, this is cool because he can keep pumping out Phoenixes, which is totally normal here for one Stargate. And then he can hide whatever he's going to pump out of with the second Stargate.
Yeah.
And then this can blindside the Zerg.
I think he's going to mass Phoenix, right? Or is, I mean, the thing is he's already, This is, you don't see this that often. It's not a very normal thing to do, but let's see what he wants to make.
Curious where he has that rallied.
You don't really want to make Void Rays off 2 base, right? Like,
he's not using it yet. Okay, he's making double Phoenixes at the same time. And
that makes more sense.
Now, does he rally those Phoenixes?
I think he has to pool them.
Yeah, I would
if
think
he sees
so, because
more and more coming,
if he sees just, you know, 2 Phoenixes come up at the same time, well, then the whole strategy is blown. But if he sees, you know, suddenly 6 extra Phoenixes come out at once.
In fact, nowadays, if you see more than 5 at once, you're like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
Because 5 is like the number that you get. So I think he should just sit here, harass with this, and then fly and be like, oh, you thought this many Hydras would work? It doesn't. I win. I think that might be the strat.
Okay, he's coming down now, just sniping a few drones here and there.
Tiniest tell in the world that something might be amiss is how many Zealots you just saw with those Lings. Don't know if you picked up on it.
Because
the thing is, that might not mean this. It could mean a lot of things.
Oh, that was sick.
That was good.
Damn. Yeah, because if you see that many Zealots, that means they're spending their gas on a lot of other stuff.
And normally it's sentries that you would spend your gas on early
But there weren't really any sentries there. Well, I think it was like 2 or something, but not a. It wasn't like there were 9 or something. So he's continuing to fly around, and this game's going to come down to how Curious handles this explosion of Phoenixes.
He's okay. Yeah, he's still making them. Going into Robo now too, which he definitely needs to do. Going into oh god, who did I see do this recently? Did Younghwa do something like this recently? I think he did actually on this map.
Uh-oh.
God,
that's never a good sign. So.
Oh, you're funny.
He's going to try to come around here. Thank you. He's going to come around here with these Lings, and Curious is actually going for Swarm Hosts, which might not be a good idea. With this many Phoenixes, they could just get pulled right out of the ground.
Yeah, like, if he has an Observer on top of him.
Does he have an Observer with that army at all?
No, not yet.
All right, get in line, guys. Get in line, Lings, to attack that cannon.
Oh, he's going to burrow him. No detection on the map yet. Going to easily kill off all these queens.
Yeah,
it's not an issue
nicely
whatsoever.
done.
And the thing is, if you see the Swarmer here, post here, I think you just send your ground army home.
Well, he's going to try to go pick them up, too.
Yeah, I would switch into double Robo Colossus or something here. This is like your Phoenix. These Phoenixes are doing insane damage.
Oh, my God. I think this may be too much. I mean, you can never afford to lose Swarm Hosts, but he lost so many queens.
And look at this.
A good amount of Swarm Hosts. He's going to lose everything over here. Does a Spore Crawler really matter that much? I don't think so. He can go to different locations on the map, continue to terrorize his opponent. So many Overlords are being picked off. Now Zerg is in the negative supply.
He caught him really off guard there. That did a ton of damage. Now this Ling counterattack actually quite nice.
Yeah, it's definitely something. But more Zealots get warped in, and that makes this attack completely obsolete. Okay, so it's 111 to 137. Protoss in pretty good shape.
Yeah.
Protoss kept the 3rd base alive. Keep in mind with his queens and even losing, what was that? I think 3 Swarm Hosts were picked off. Does that sound about right?
I think it was 3 or 4. Yeah,
3 or 4 that were picked up. It's really bad to lose any of those. Normally, as in the early part of the game where you get the Swarm Hosts, you basically don't want to lose any. They're just too expensive, and they're pretty much all you have. That's why the only thing we see Zerg attacking with here is additional Lings.
You know what I love here? Look at this.
This is cool with the Void Rays.
Great move. Great move. Like,
Well, if the guy was getting a bunch of just swarm hosts and the queens were killed, I guess the Void Rays have the ability to, you know, do a little bit more damage out here on the map. I don't know if he can keep going for this, though.
Look at this, continues to pick up and kill off so many drones. He's going to be able to kill off a bunch more Overlords as well. The Queen's coming back right now. I think it's the Phoenixes, if they have some energy left, plus those like 3-4 Void Rays out on the map, would easily dismantle those Queens as well. But with Infestors on the way, that's exactly the type of counter he's going to be looking for.
Well, let's see if he actually comes up here with the Void Rays and attacks at a certain angle. You know, with the Void Rays like this, he could try to hit the 4th base or the 2nd base. Going to be in between that cavity there.
Yeah.
And use the Phoenixes. I think that's where he's sending him to. I suppose he could also go into the main if he wanted.
Yeah, he's got quite a few options here. Does he have, yeah, he's bringing the Mothership Core, which is like, this is the old Skytoss style that you'd see with Mothership Core. When this came into play, a lot of people were just making a bunch of Void Rays, being like, I killed this and Warp Home, ha! Because it turns out Recall is pretty good.
He's going to get his Nexus over here while he's going to take the 4th well, possibly going into the main. I assume this is towards the main.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't think he's going to go for the 2nd now.
And this is actually like pretty safe as long as you keep that Mothership Core alive and near the Void Rays, because even if you get fungled, you can get out of there. So let's see here. Okay, there come the
my
Infestors.
God.
Okay, he's going to need it. Yeah, he needs to. And look at that.
Wow, like the most perfect recall.
It was really good. Really swift, gets everything. And, you know, it was a good defense by Curious as well, we have to say.
Sure.
He stopped that dead in its tracks. And he'll actually force a cancel here. Nice.
Yep, no way he's going to get that base up there.
These are the type of moves that he needs.
I do wonder if it was worth it to have the Void Rays now, because they didn't do much. They're not cheap. They cost a lot of supply, and
it's true.
They're not hard for Zerg to respond to, especially with Fungal.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
for how much he invested into that, and consider this, he also was getting his 3rd and 4th pretty late.
They're a good insurance later on, though, against Corruptors.
That's true,
So when he needs to get Corruptors, like, these Colossi are going to be very hard to stop. So, yeah, I guess he's going Vipers, which makes more sense. Like, he can't go into Corruptors from here. Like, the Void Rays force that. Void Ray plus Phoenix. No way Corruptors do anything. So, good choices here by Curious. Anti-air here just too strong from Terminator.
Well, we have the probes being transferred over here to the bottom left. And the Fleet Beacon's coming with Storm. We're getting into the late game, the end game here. Tech trees are going to be all finished up. And the unit's a possibility.
Yeah, the double Spire on the way for Curious. That's Curious giving a nod towards this game going to like 50 minutes.
Yeah, there's probably going to be a moment where Zerg might lose his entire army, and then all of a sudden, 30 mutas are being pumped out.
Yeah, or maybe he kills a significant portion of the air and he decides, oh, I just need a bunch of Corruptors to kill Colossus now.
Yeah.
But that double Spire, it takes a while for that to pay off, so this is both, oh man, all those Kansai Templars, these guys know this game is not ending anytime soon.
Okay. Nobody really able to get in there and do much damage. We see the Zealots. This is pretty common for this phase of the game, to just send the Zealots out on different parts of the map to try to do damage, because the Zealots, the equity of the Zealots goes down when you're into endgame.
Yeah.
ZVP, you pretty much just want units that cost gas, so I don't want to say you want to sacrifice them, but send them somewhere, try to get some tech structure, and they'll die off. But if you get that tech structure, great. If you lose them, it's not as great, but you at least have more supply to make more gas guzzling units.
And also, if you can pull their army over to deal with those Zealots, which he keeps forcing him to do, look at where his army is now. If Curious is out of position, then he can get damage done with the main army. If Curious is in position, he gets damage done with the Ras.
An attack coming down over here. It looks like Zerg will fend it off pretty easily, but a lot of Phoenixes will be picked off in the whole process of that. Meanwhile, the Zealots are going to come up over here into the 2nd. Now facing off against the Locusts, a few more Spine Crawlers close to finishing.
Yeah, those Locusts did a great job of stalling them out. The Zealot harassment not doing quite what he was looking for. Really good idea in theory. In practice, not happening for him.
Whoa. Okay, so we're going to go into Tempest play here. I guess if he goes into Tempest, one thing to note is if Protoss takes the 5th base, which would be up in this area that's being passed through right now, Tempest could be pretty good at pushing where the Zerg's 4th base is.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. Let's see how he handles this. We also are going to have a Mothership.
Yeah. Well, if you're going to go Mass Tempest, you got to go Mothership too. You don't want him getting yanked in. But this, like, to go straight into complete sky toss, which is what it looks like he's going to be doing here. I swear, it was Curious against Hero I just saw recently. I think it was Pro League on Foxtrot, where they just, like, mined out basically everything, had almost nothing left, and Hero just barely won with it. Like, Curious is very good at this. I don't know how this will go. This is very hard to predict, but the one thing I will predict with complete accuracy is that unless someone really bungles something, this game is going to be very long. Go get yourself a cup of green tea right now.
Yeah, go get a blanket if you're cold.
Yeah, blanket if you're cold. Turn up your thermostat if need be. I use a space heater personally. It's a lot cheaper than the floor heat.
Yeah, that's quite expensive in Korea. The Locusts are coming down now.
Yeah, a lot of static D going up. Corruptors beginning to be added. Well, more than beginning. It's quite a few. Ooh,
and
that was
this is one of the disadvantages about the Locusts. If you have too many swarm hosts, they're attacking in one direction, but they're certainly not defending somewhere else. Yeah, with the next wave of Zealots, he might be able to make a dent in here. He's coming up now. We have some swarm hosts, Locusts, I should say, that have been directed down over here to try to help defend this. And with the Mothership Core, the Colossi, the Void Rays, everything else, I think Protoss should be able to get a 5th base up and running. The question, though, is can he make that work without slowly being chewed away by these never-ending waves of Locusts?
I think the Locusts are going to chew him away. I think that this map is just like a little bit too small. If this was like Cross Spot's Deadwing, I'd be like, oh, okay, this is like, they both can mine a bajillion trillion minerals. You know, this is going to take a very, very long, this is still going to take a very long time, but the constant Locust, this is really tough. I think he's realizing he might need to take that right-hand side expansion. That middle one, it's just too close. He needs to like barrel through the center, right, and remove some creep at minimum if he wants to mine from that high ground middle base.
Oh, man. When you let a player get to this point in time.
Yeah.
I wonder if we can go back and look at the Void Ray play here as maybe one of the moments where it was an interesting move to getting those 8 Void Rays. Was it 8, 6, something like that?
Yeah,
getting them out there and then not doing anything with them for most of the game.
Yeah,
I wonder.
I mean, he tried the one attack; it just didn't do anything.
It didn't do anything. So I mean, that's a pretty big investment into, nothing impactful really happening.
Yeah.
I guess the largest impact that had was it pulled the Zerg's army to the main, which is really no impact at all.
There's kind of a couple school of thoughts on how to play against Turtle Swarm Host play. One is just going full Sky Toss like this. I mean, this isn't completely full, but like going Sky Toss. The other is to just like try to overpower, by going like a lot of claws, a lot of high tempo. Ooh,
sick.
Nice recall. Wow, that was quick.
That was so cool.
That was really good, really on top of it. But yeah, those are the 2 ways that you would think about doing it, right? And he kind of like, I guess he's chosen like the longer path, which is the more Sky Toss oriented, not to try to bowl your opponent over before he has everything set up type of path. And it's tough, man. This map is so short, especially when you're both already in the middle.
Well, Terminator's going to come up around and push into the second. This does make, if he gets through it, that does make the main vulnerable. The question is, can he actually do it? I think tagging the Corruptors helps a lot here, even though that's wearing off pretty shortly here, because that means he can always have the Storms ready. His screen will always be in position.
Absolutely. He needs to be ready for...
Oh my god, he's bungling the the Templars here, which is a pretty smart move.
Yeah, the Locusts make quick work of them. You get one fungal off on those guys and they die.
You can see he wasn't quite ready for that. And we have more Templars coming here. A few more Archons. This is pretty sick. So it's going to be a different approach here. He's going to have the Archons, hopefully, to get underneath those Corruptors.
He's kind of switching into the muscle aspect again, right? Like, he's kind of going back and forth, which is fine. You can do tech switches.
Well, ZVP especially is usually a matchup where it's players, your tech tree's on a seesaw almost. You're going into, all this harass unit. Actually, for both sides, it's like that. Even for Zerg. Okay, all my Stormhosts are getting killed. I'm going to make 30 mutas. I'm going to make the mutas fly around, make them do this. Then I'm going to switch into, let's say a bunch of lings while that's going on. Try to hit him on the ground. You really want to throw them off balance. God, that's a lot of Swarm Hosts.
Yeah, it is.
It's a lot of free units, Artosis. You know they're free? They're not even on sale. They're free.
The Locusts?
Yeah.
You mean they cost no money?
They cost no money.
They just continually spawn an attack.
If you were to go to the market, it would say, buy Swarm Host, get all the locusts you ever want for the rest of your life free.
Wow, that seems like a deal.
It's a bargain, guys.
You can see why a lot of people like this strategy.
If we were to take a chart out and take the first few Swarm Hosts that were made, and then you put a number, put a value number here and see how much damage was done by the Locust from that one Swarm Host, I think we'd see that you get a lot of value out of that unit when you can use it correctly.
Most certainly you are correct. Locusts, aside from the 3 or 4 that died early on, Phoenixes have been pretty sturdy.
And they have been effective at keeping pressure on the only remaining expandable locations for Protoss here this game. And you can just see that slowly this base is going to be chewed apart if Protoss can't eventually stop this. Yes, they have this blast burst damage, and yes, Protoss have shields, but that's not as scary as just free.
Well, this is a nice little Zealot harassment. Moves like this are really, really important. You have to whittle the Zerg player down.
It's also important to note how much gas Curious has banked while this is going on.
Yeah.
This is...
You spend your minerals as Zerg, but your gas is Protoss a lot of the time. But this is how he's trying to make up for it, is with Zealot harassment, to try to, you know, bring that mineral count of his self down and really hurt Zerg, who's already spending all his minerals on spines and spores.
Well, I don't know if Protoss can do much unless Protoss takes out the 4th base, and I don't know if it's possible to push through that, you know? He needs to get the distance from where these are coming from much greater, where the Locusts are coming from, I should say.
Yeah, it's pretty tough. Like, Tempest can, in theory, be like the most cost-efficient thing, but they're so bad against the actual Locusts themselves. Like, that messes up the AI. You know, they're... Alone, they suck, so if they get yanked, they're done. It's such a tricky thing. Like, to bowl them over when you have Tempest in your army is very tough.
This was like Brood Lords or something. It would be a different case, but
they're good against small amounts of big units. Yeah, large amounts of small
defense, it can work, but yeah, I mean, what is one Tempest host, or excuse me, one Tempest shot kills a Locust, but that's, you know, that's not doing a whole lot. Colossi pretty helpful here, though.
Oh, absolutely.
So he's going to take another expansion over here in the center right.
Oh, that's Zealot's
There's a chance that we're just going to see endless amounts of cannons here and this expansion, too, as he just tries to get some stuff to help try to defend.
Yeah, like, the Cloak is the best way to hold on for now.
Also important to note is Zerg is actually going to mine out before Protoss does for the Zerg side of the map. So it's a little bit tricky here for Zerg, because Zerg can't just slowly do damage to this base. Zerg actually has to stop Protoss from having this base, and more importantly, the center right base.
This is some good positioning. I really like how both of them are playing here. I think it's quite smart. Like, he's cloaking everything. He's trying to make sure he can mine this out. Might need to move the mothership slightly to the right because he lost that geyser. Gas is really the limiting factor here for Protoss.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
So, yeah, it's important to keep that
so funny.
Hey, if he can even sneak that, it's worth the minerals.
Yeah, it is. As funny as that sounds. Oh, my God, a huge engagement here. And he's actually just going to come forward now. No mothership core here. Where the Locusts at? Are about to unload.
Yeah, that's a lot of Archons, that's a lot of High Templars, and that's a lot of Colossi. So this is him trying to just get right through here. Will he be warping in gateway units to actually reinforce?
You know what? This is actually working out.
Yeah.
He's actually shoved his way through here. And that means he's cleaned up that position down there. With a few storms taking out the rest of the remaining Locusts. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Really
he just needs a few more storms there. That is so good.
He needs to push forward with these
He needs to turn around. Yeah, he needs to actually go back.
Because he's really afraid of losing everything to those Corruptors.
Yeah,
the Archons are... I guess with 3 Archons, you're not going to be able to eliminate them before they kill your Colossus if you spread, so... I guess this is actually correct for him to turn around. It's heartbreaking, though, because he almost broke that base. Man, Curious is going to be kicking himself if Terminator actually gets to start mining from that base. Oh, I like this, though. Harkins back to game 2. Nice, good yanks coming in here. Whoa. There's nothing to defend this. Whoa! No. Oh, my God. I mean, okay. Woo.
That was bad.
Yeah, that was still very, very bad for him. And now in come the Locusts to gain their value. They're like the taxmen or something. They're like, ah, you owe us tax. Here we are. You thought you could get away. We're doing an audit on your army right now. You're like, all right, here's 2 Archons. You're like, oh, we want 2 Archons and a Stalker. And you're like, God,
the interest on this is crazy.
Only things in life that are definite, tasteless, are Swarm hosts making free Locusts and free Locusts killing all your stuff.
Yeah. I have to say, I'm surprised Protoss kept the center base alive for so long.
It's still alive, I guess. So,
yeah.
I mean, he's doing great with it. I thought it would be dead by now, but he's doing a good job. I feel like, you know, this is what happens with Protoss. I feel like this happens most games where eventually at some point you have a group of stalkers out on the map and you're like, well, I guess I'm going to harass everywhere with these because my army just got pulverized and I have to rebuild it, so I need to buy time.
You pretty much have 2 fast-acting options when you lose your army. Either make Zealot Stalker or make, Zealot Archon or make Stalkers.
Well, I like the Stalkers being around, seeing what they can do, deal some damage.
I mean, look, they're very mobile. The Swarm hosts don't have an easy solution for it.
Yeah.
They can pick and choose their engagements. And, guys, on the mini-map, in fact, I can't believe Protoss is attacking from up here, but in the center left, he's sending Zealots through here.
That's
and
like 20 Zealots.
Zerg does
plus.
not know. I think actually this might win the game for Protoss because Zerg does not know still about this base. And this is so many Zealots. He can kill off everything up here.
He certainly can if he spreads them out. Yeah, this is like, wow, the AI just totally screwing him there. All right, it looks like he's going to go into some Broodlords. That's brilliant because the air army's done.
Man.
With the air army being dead, these Broodlords are so smart, tasteless.
They are.
Because so much gas has now been spent on things like Archons and Stalkers that he can't quite rebuild what he had before.
Oh, he's getting chased again over here. And he's going to get that Greater Spire. He might want to just go ahead and get that Hive, actually.
Yeah, he just needs to kill everything he possibly can.
Everything under the sun.
The Stalker's doing a good job.
Zerg does not know about this base in the center left. How funny is that? It's the only base that is remaining for Zerg to take, and he just hasn't checked that there because it's not a bad move to take it, but normally a good player will just spot it, and that's so easy to kill with Swarm Host from his his dried up.
He just rallies him over there like two rallies of Swarm Host will kill it. All right, he's killed the Hive now. Very good. Okay, he knows it's there. We should see him act on that pretty quickly. In the meantime, though, you know, Terminator has taken that right side base, and he's keeping him kind of busy over here, which is really, really nice. Pull it in, he just blinks back out. It's like, no.
Not so much. Okay, he's getting under these Swarm Hosts, or Broodlords here, excuse me.
Yeah, it was a nice blinding cloud there.
And, well, let's look at this here.
Free units!
29 workers to 58 workers. An expansion that is gone completely untouched. Let's keep an eye out for Curious's face when he finds out that this base is...
I'm 90% sure he saw it with his Corruptors.
Oh, did he see it already?
I am pretty darn sure of it. Which begs the question why he hasn't sent a Swarm of Locusts over.
Anything over there. It wouldn't be too hard to kill.
Maybe he's just been kept busy. Maybe he didn't realize if he saw it.
Maybe he should just target the hatch here, I think. Well, I guess it's just gonna. I guess it's just aim moving into that. Also, as far as savings here, Zerg a little bit under 1,000, and so is Protoss, which means, you know, with Protoss not quite being maxed out, they're really getting down to the wire here. There's not much banked up anymore.
No, he's pretty much broke.
Although I think
this army's good. It's a very good army.
Oh, man. He's going to try to engage up into here.
Oh, wow.
How many storms does he have in this?
Dude, this is amazing for him.
Yeah,
the Locusts just left. They, like, just left.
Okay, this is so good. This is huge. This is going to be so much damage. That's his game, I think.
I think you're right. I think Terminator's done it.
He's already killed the Hive off. The tech has been reset. He killed the spawning pool up again.
It's not 100% done, actually. I mean, there's still 19 Storm Hosts on the map.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. But
if he just kills this army, he can still absolutely just win the game. Like, this is the last really great army for Terminator in this game.
Well, he's going to come up over here to this the final outpost here for Zerg, and it's going to come down, I think, to this fight. All right,
good size storm.
Some Void Rays in here too.
And it looks like these Corruptors are going to be able to kill off quite a bit. Good storm going down on these Broodlords.
He wants to at least get rid of the hatchery here, and then maybe run back with the Stalkers. He gets that Broodlord.
Oh, man, and the hatchery is, in fact, going to fall. This leaves no hatcheries left for Curious, but he actually might still kill, like, this entire army.
It's 144 supply to 121, and keep in mind that there's only 8 workers for Zerg, so that means Zerg has a much bigger army.
Leenock could win from here. If you know what, I guess he never did see that base over on the left-hand side because
I think he actually
that's
does
like
not know.
literally like you said, Tasis, what he's going to win in this game.
I think he's thinking that Protoss actually has no more money.
Yeah.
And he's probably wondering, why is he still getting a few Stalkers here? What is the deal with this? And this goes to show you that even at the highest levels, oh my God, even at the highest levels, sometimes people don't scout each other correctly. And that's just, that's the game right there.
Wow, Locust lasts a long time.
At least kill it. At least kill it.
Oh, man. Well, this base is like,
that's
if
it.
he didn't have that base right now, he'd be dead here. But, well, I would still say that Curious has a chance in this game, as crazy as that is.
Well, I think the problem, Tosis, is that if he tries to go down and attack the bases, if I'm Terminator, I'd only make Stalkers here and just blink around and kill up the buildings.
Yeah.
There's no way, I think, I mean, who knows? These guys are both very good, but I think there's no way for Curious to actually attack an expansion without Protoss's mobility coming into play here, and he just goes around and takes out a base.
He's pushing his creep back out a little bit. Like, I think from that base, in a defensive manner, he can attack the 2 remaining bases that have minerals on them on Terminator's side. The one that he can't deal with is the one that Terminator actually took, which is Curious.
Can I say this entire series has probably been my favorite series we've casted so far for this season?
Absolutely.
This has been really good, and games like
really
this,
good.
This is StarCraft at its best to me. Is when you see games that are just like this, and every single game is a little bit different, and we got to see all the units get used, the teching, a really complete story told here. And look, you can see, notice that Curious actually took his hand off the mouse. He was scratching his neck. There's not a lot he can do right now. This guy's not in his booth with 350 APM trying to juggle these tasks. He's sitting around with a set of units and probably still unaware, or maybe he's figured it out by now. This blind spot on the map, which is this left expansion, that something's not right. He's still making stuff. And
I mean, Terminator is playing the right way.
Also, guys, let's keep in mind that neither of these guys are going to be eliminated after this series. In this case, it looks like Curious should be losing, but this is a pretty exhausting game. This is normally you play a game like this on the ladder, you take a short break.
Absolutely.
Afterwards. Probably come back and watch the replay too, but
I never watch replay games like this, Tasteless. Too long, too painful.
Well, when you win, don't you want to see that? Those are my favorite kind of replays to watch.
I guess if I did, yeah.
It's sort of a. It's funny. As hard as it is to get Zerg and take them down when it's Swarm host play, you can see that Terminator very carefully attacked point after point after point on the map and broke that until eventually he is marginalized Curious's position so badly on the map that Curious is just stuffed in this upper right corner. Curious's tech has been completely reset, which is...
Well, he's already back up.
If you guys have not played enough Zerg, this is so frustrating. It can usually cost Zerg the entire game if they could just kill your hive off in, like, let's say your Greater Spire, your Infestation Pit or something.
Yeah.
It is so hard to reset that tech, especially when Protoss has all the flexibility in the world to continue to pick and choose what units he wants here. I guess the only units we didn't see in this game were DTs.
Carriers.
Oh no, that's not a unit. That's like a.
That's for casual.
That's a stunt unit. Okay.
Hey, good moves. Now, I give him almost no % chance, but there is still a chance Curious can win. Like, it's very small.
I think it would really be up to Terminator to lose now.
Yeah, Terminator has to make a couple mistakes, but it's very hard to break this still. Notice, like, he can't just go kill him.
Look at the mini map here. It looks like Protoss is the Zerg here, with the bases that they've acquired. At some point in time, I guess Protoss can just get maxed out Artosis and just try to force his way in. It might not be the most advisable thing to do. Normally, when you have this much on the line and you're this ahead, it's usually up to the losing player to figure out how to do this. Mathematically, there's really no way for Curious to come back as far as mining goes.
Well, he has to have like the most cost-efficient stuff you've ever seen. And
oh my God,
well,
he came in there right when they.
Yeah, you got the observer.
Yep.
So it's like these.
Yeah, but you know what? He can just get the structure up here. It doesn't actually matter.
Size Storm is pretty good.
Wow. Okay, I think we're going to be seeing GG at that note.
Terminator, the hero here.
Great, best series I've seen, and actually this game, best game we've casted so far in this season of the GSL Code S.
This was a fantastic
It really
series.
was.
These two really were a great match for each other. Really, really dynamic series. Really smart play and great play by both sides. Very much enjoyed that. Wow. I got chills, man. That was like really, wow, Terminator. He's come a long way. Curious having a very tough match there. We'll see how he can do in this next one against Tasia.
You know, that as great as that was for us to watch, that is a tough, if Curious is knocked out of this group, to go home and knowing you lost in one of the golden rules for StarCraft. What is that rule? Scout the map.
Yeah.
You have to check all the bases all the time. No, Protoss don't normally take that base there, but if you don't scout, you'd never know.
He took his base, man.
He took his base that was on his side of the map.
That was his side of the map.
And he just didn't check.
If they were brothers, the mother would yell at him, hey, don't beat your brother like that.
Yeah, it's his side of the room.
Yeah, it's his side of the map.
Wow, we're going to go to a short little break. When we come back, we'll have a PvP hero against Terminator.